Picture this. Thousands of dedicated federal employees waking up to the harsh reality of potential job loss, all amid a heated government standoff. It's a dramatic turn in the ongoing saga of political brinkmanship, and it's sparking debates that could reshape how we view public service. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this a necessary step to trim bureaucracy, or an overreach that undermines essential services? Let's dive in and unpack the details, step by step, so even newcomers to these political dramas can follow along. The Trump administration has declared that significant layoffs of federal workers are underway, seemingly acting on earlier warnings to downsize the government during the shutdown. This news broke through a post on X by Russell Vought, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, who simply stated, "The RIFs have begun." For those unfamiliar, RIF stands for Reduction in Force, a formal process used by the government to cut jobs when funding is tight or restructuring is needed. It's not a casual firing. It's a structured approach governed by strict rules to ensure fairness. An OMB spokesperson verified to NPR that this RIF process is indeed happening on a large scale, describing it as substantial, but they held back on specifics like the exact number of affected workers. At least one agency, the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, has openly acknowledged sending out these notices. According to HHS spokesperson Andrew Nixon, employees across various divisions received them directly due to the Democrat-led shutdown. He pointed out that these workers were deemed non-essential by their departments, and he placed the blame squarely on the Biden administration for fostering an overinflated bureaucracy. Interestingly, HHS has actually shed more staff, around 20,000 through prior RIFs, voluntary exits, and retirements, than were hired during Biden's term. This adds a layer of irony to the accusations, doesn't it? Yet the full picture remains murky. We don't know which other agencies are involved or when these terminations might actually kick in. Federal regulations lay out a clear roadmap for RIFs. Affected employees must get at least 60 days notice about their end date, or 30 days if the Office of Personnel Management approves a waiver. Some agencies might also have to loop in unions or Congress, and the official notices must spell out the rationale behind the cuts and the exact effective date. It's designed to protect workers, but in the heat of a shutdown, timelines can get compressed. And this is the part most people miss, the legal battles brewing in the background. Several unions have already sued over the administration's threats to implement RIFs before the shutdown, claiming these moves illegally target vital federal services and break from long-standing norms. They argue it's a violation of laws meant to safeguard public functions. Just hours before a court-mandated deadline for the government to disclose any planned or ongoing RIF notices tied to the shutdown, this announcement dropped. American Federation of Government Employees National President Everett Kelly didn't hold back in his response, calling it disgraceful that the administration is exploiting the shutdown to unlawfully dismiss thousands of workers crucial to communities nationwide. Since the shutdown started, the White House has ramped up rhetoric, threatening spending cuts, worker firings, and even withholding pay for some furloughed staff. They blame Democrats for refusing to compromise on extended health care subsidies to end the impasse. Beyond layoffs, the administration has taken steps like halting transportation funding in cities such as Chicago and New York, and scrapping billions in grants for Biden-era energy initiatives. They frame these as efforts to reduce the federal government's footprint. But here's where it gets really divisive. While the Trump team insists these cuts are essential due to the funding gap, experts like Jessica Riedel from the center-right Manhattan Institute argue that a shutdown doesn't legally mandate such drastic measures. There's no law forcing them to dismiss a large portion of federal employees during a short-term shutdown, she points out. This hasn't happened in past shutdowns, and it's not required. It's a counterpoint that challenges the administration's narrative, suggesting these actions might be more about ideology than necessity. As we wrap this up, it's clear this situation is far from black and white. Is shrinking the government a bold step toward efficiency, or a risky gamble that could harm everyday Americans relying on these services? What do you think? Should layoffs be off limits during shutdowns, or is this a fair way to force political concessions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear differing perspectives and spark a conversation. If you have insider info on agency RIF plans or other federal changes, feel free to reach out securely via Signal to Stephen Fowler at STPHNFWLR 25.